lost my mother to breast cancer when I was 12. It was just my dad and me after that. It was a tough time, but we got through it together. When I was 14, my dad met and married my stepmom, Ashley. She brought along her son, Mark, 14, and her daughter, Emily, 12, who became my step-siblings. I got along great with Ashley and Emily, but not so much with Mark. He and I constantly argued and even got into fights. My dad always told me to go easy on Mark, since he'd been the man of the house for a while. Everything was new for him, apparently, as if it wasn't just as new and strange for me. Anyway, when I was 15, I met a girl at school named Lisa, and we started dating. Totally normal for 15. But apparently Mark liked her too, and got pissed when I asked her out. We argued about it, and my dad had to step in. Somehow, I ended up being the bad guy. The day after my 16th birthday, my stepmom was putting away my laundry and suddenly started screaming. It was embarrassing, especially because Lisa was there too. The whole house went into panic mode, thinking something horrible had happened. When I got to the room, Ashley was holding a pair of my stepsister's underwear and yelling at me for keeping them in my drawer. I couldn't explain it. I'd never seen them before. Of course, no one believed me, no matter how much I denied it. Then Mark chimed in, saying he had seen me staring at his sister, saying it was creepy, and even claimed he once heard me say I wished I could marry her. Lies. All of it. But that was enough. Lisa slapped me, called me a pervert, broke up with me, and left. My dad grabbed me by the arm and threw me out of the house. He yelled that he wouldn't let his daughter be endangered by some sick freak. Not his exact words, but you get the point. I banged on the door crying, begging them to believe me. I told them Mark was lying, but my dad, I think he'd finally had enough. I heard the lock click, and he opened the door just to shove me to the ground and told me to get lost. I told him I had nowhere to go. He said that wasn't his problem and slammed the door. I wandered the streets with nothing, nowhere to turn. I tried calling my in-laws, but my dad had gotten to them first, and they said they wouldn't help a creep. My maternal grandparents had passed away before I was born. I was homeless for 2 years, doing whatever I had to do to survive. No child should ever have to do the things I did, just to make it to the next day. There were some truly dark times. Years of therapy helped me work through it. Right after I turned 18, I landed a job at a boxing gym, far from where my nightmare had started. I worked there for years. I trained in the sport. Then one day, I met a girl named Ame, 20 years old, at a cafe near the gym. I was 35 then, yeah, big age gap. But we just clicked. I don't believe in fate or soulmates or any of that, but if they exist, we had that. I don't even know how to describe it. We dated for 2 years and then got married. Her dad was an electrician and later hired me to work for him. I think he mostly wanted to see if I could provide for his daughter and make sure I was treating her right, but also to keep an eye on me just in case. He never said that, but now that I'm a father, I get it. 15 years later, we're still together and have 4 beautiful daughters. I recently earned my master's degree in electrical engineering, thanks to my wife, who encouraged me to get my GED. She has been my rock my motivator, my steady anchor through it all, and I can't even begin to express how much she changed my life. I love her beyond words. Anyway, sorry for the detour. Last weekend, I got an email from my stepsister. No idea how she got my email, but it's not hard to find people online, and I've never been hiding. I'm nearly 53 now. It's been over 30 years since I last heard from them. The email was long. I won't repeat it all, but the gist was, they found out what really happened. Apparently, Mark was drinking with some buddies on a Friday night, and somehow, my name came up. He started bragging about how he stole my girlfriend and set me up. Yep, Mark and Lisa ended up getting married. They laughed, hoped I died on the streets just being awful. Guess he forgot Lisa was in the room and heard everything. She called Emily and told her the truth. Emily spent the entire weekend tracking me down. Like I said, the email was long, but it was basically an apology, repeated multiple times, and a request to reconnect, to make up for lost time. But I'm indifferent to the idea. I don't hold a grudge against her. She was young and had no say in any of it. And thanks to a lot of therapy, I've learned to let go of the hatred and anger. And with all the love I've received from my wife, daughters, and in-laws, that's all I ever really needed. I think I'll just delete the email and move on like nothing happened. My wife thinks I should at least send a snarky reply like, "Thanks for finally believing me. Took you over 30 years. Did I mention my wife is a bit petty? Haha. She's amazing." I'm not looking for advice. Just wanted to share my story. There's a quote about boxing that I have hanging in my home. It reminds me every day. To see a man